Welcome to part 13 of this series, the Roman Empire and the Holy Land. We're going to explain this picture at the end of the video. Let's first think about this Persia attacking the Greeks. We want to try to build up to this history. And let's just recap what we said in the previous video about this Lydian king, how he attacked these Ionian Greek cities. But we need to try to understand, where is this word Ionian coming from? And if we go to the work of Josephus, we learn that this word Ionia could be coming from the name Javan, Javan son of Japheth. So it says, but from Javan, Ionia, and all the Grecians are derived. So according to Josephus, the Grecians derived from Javan son of Japheth. And this is why we tried to build that foundation in the beginning of the series, where we looked at these descendants of, well, some of these descendants of Noah and these sons of Japheth, and we spoke about that Portuguese tradition of Elisha and Tarshish. So these two sons of Javan come into the Iberian Peninsula with their uncle Tubal. And now we can see why this might be important for this study, because these two brothers, these two sons of Javan, if it's accurate and it's true that they did come to the Iberian Peninsula, could we not say that that there would be Ionians in this region? Because we're seeing that this word Ionia could be connected with Javan, so descendants of Javan. And with this picture we can see that we have descendants of Javan in this region. So that could be important for this, trying to understand this region and this leading up to the wars between Persia and Greece, that we do have this potential of Ionians on the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, let's go to the page on Cyrus the Great. Now this is going to speak about the wars between Lydia and Persia, and we tried to explain quite simply what led up to those wars, so we're not going to cover that again, but let's read this part. The Lydians first attacked the Achaemenid Empire city of Pteria in Cappadocia. So this is interesting, where Lydia is actually striking at Persia in Cappadocia. So we won't consider that the heartland of Persia, but this is where the Lydia is able to strike. So that's quite interesting. Then it says that Croesus besieged and captured the city, enslaving its inhabitants. Meanwhile, the Persians invited the citizens of Ionia, who were part of the Lydian kingdom, to revolt against their ruler. So this is an interesting tactic that the Persians tried to use, and we're going to see that it's quite ironic as we go further in this video. So it says here that it failed. So this tactic failed, so Cyrus would have to raise an army to come conquer Lydia, and we know that he was successful because of the hindsight, looking back at history. So Persia conquers Lydia. Now these Ionian Greek cities that Lydia conquered, Persia is going to expect them to now submit to their rule. So we're just starting to build up to see how we're leading into this war between Persia and Greece. Okay, let's go to this slideshow. We're going to use this slideshow on slideplayer.com, and if we go to the next slide. So this slide showing the Persian Empire, maybe at its coming towards its greatest extent, and this could be after the time of Cyrus, because we can see that it includes the territory of Egypt. So that's how we know that it could be after the time of Cyrus. Go to the next slide. Okay, so the Persian Wars. Both Sparta and Athens played roles in defeating the Persians. Sparta and Athens, probably two of the most famous Greek city-states. And if we read the next part, as the Greeks set up colonies in the Mediterranean area, they often clashed with the Persians. By mid-500s, Persia controlled the Greek cities inside Asia Minor. So this is what we were just speaking about. We're looking at that history of Lydia conquering these Ionian Greek cities, and then Persia trying to get these Ionians to revolt. These are the Ionians that are in, well, Asia Minor. But remember how we questioning this. We're trying to question, Asia Minor. We're thinking about, with our picture, thinking about North Africa and the Iberian Peninsula. So looking more towards the west. So when we look at these sources and we hear Anatolia or Asia Minor, we must remember that we're thinking, towards the west. Okay, so now we see why it was ironic, because Athens, so in 499 BC, so now remember we've actually gone past now the founding of Rome. So remember how we said that Rome was founded as a republic. Sorry, not the founding of Rome, but when Rome was founded as a republic in 509 BC. We've actually gone past this date now because we're at 499 BC, and it says that the Athenian army helped the Greeks in Asia Minor rebel. So now the Athenians tried the same tactic that the Persians tried. So the Persians tried to get the Ionians to revolt against Lydia. Now the Athenians are trying the same tactic, but it also fails. And this is known as the Ionian revolt, if you'd like to read about it. But it also fails, and Persia keeps its holdings. And then we read this part here. It says, King Darius decided the mainland Greeks had to be stopped from interfering in the Persian Empire, and he decides that Athens needs to be punished for this role they played in the Ionian revolt. So now we're starting to get this this build-up of this rivalry and this animosity. And King Darius is a Persian king, so after the time of Cyrus. So we're getting a better idea of what leads up to this rivalry and this war between Persia and Greece, or ancient Greece. And we're going to speak about Sparta and Athens as we go forward. But I'd like to, before we go further on in this history, before we move forward, just go back to this chronicle of Jeremiah, because there was something interesting here about Cyrus that I would like to mention before we move forward. Now, we're not going to be able to explore this this detail further in this series, but it's just something very interesting that I'd like to share with you, because we are speaking about the Roman Empire, but we're also thinking about the Holy Land. So it's also about the Holy Land, this series, and we're thinking about Africa, and this could be a nice way to think about the Holy Land. So it says, Cyrus the king ended his days in battle and died in the land of the Shittim. Now this is very interesting detail that this source is telling us where Cyrus died, and it's very specific and important because Shittim would be in the Holy Land. So it's a biblical location in the Holy Land. And if we try to learn about this word Shittim, if we go to the Strong Concordance, we can see that it's actually referring to the acacia trees. So you could say that Cyrus died in the land of the acacia trees. And we know that the acacia tree is very important for the Bible, because the Ark of the Covenant was constructed with acacia wood, and other parts of the tabernacle as well. So the acacia tree is very important for the Holy Land and for the Bible, and that's why we had this picture at the start, because we know that the African landscape is famous for the acacia tree. So it's something that supports our picture where we're speaking about the Holy Land, and with the acacia tree being important for the for the construction of the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant, and with this biblical location, Shittim, so it is actually a location you'll be looking for in the Holy Land, and we see how it's connected with the acacia tree. It's just one of these things that we're looking for things that make sense and things that ring true. And when you can see that the acacia tree is important for for the story and for the Holy Land, and then that Africa is famous for this tree and for its landscape, it's one of those things that supports our picture. So I just wanted to share that with you, because it's a nice detail, but it's also very interesting with its connection with Cyrus and this region. It would be nice to explore that further, but that's going to take us off course with the thinking about this war between the Persians and the Greeks. So in the next video I'd like to think about ancient Greece and who were the Greeks, and we're going to learn that it might not be so straightforward to try and answer those questions. So that's going to be the next video. So thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in that next video.